happening today. Baseball is back in Milwaukee. The Brewers home opener is later this afternoon at American Family Field. A new series of baseball awaits fans. Joining us live via Zoom this morning to talk more about the home opener is Brewers broadcaster Lane Grindle. Lane, good morning.
Emily, it's great to be with you this morning. It's great to have baseball back in Milwaukee.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. Spring training is over. The opener is over, and now it's time for the home opener. You know, you had a series in New York against the Yankees. It wasn't pretty, you know, but they got swept, the Brewers did. But what did you like, Lane, about this past weekend and what you saw from the Brewers as they get ready for the Royals?
Yeah, I mean, look, there were things within that series that you can draw some positives out of. Look, the last 2 days were rough. The Yankees are a really good team. There's a reason why they were in the World Series last year. They have a lot of great players in that lineup. It's a tough lineup to navigate, and that was proven by 15 home runs over 3 days hit by the Yankees. That's also a ballpark that surrenders a lot of home runs. But what I would say first and foremost on the big picture is, remember, the Brewers swept the Mets last year, and the Mets ended up, making a nice run in the playoffs. So the first weekend doesn't have to mean a lot. It's a long season. It is a marathon, not a sprint, and hang in there, because I think this team is a really talented team. We have a group of guys in Milwaukee this year that are very young, very hungry, and they're 1 year older, even though they're young, from a team that won the division last year. So I still like the core of this group. I thought Sal Frelick had a very good series. I like the way Tyler Alexander threw the ball. I like the way Elvis Peguero threw the ball in tough conditions in terms of the lineup they were facing and the way they threw the ball. So the top of that lineup hasn't really gotten going yet. Yelich, Jackson had a decent day Saturday, and Contreras, those guys are going to do their thing. You can count on that. So I think this is going to be a very good offense before it's all said and done.
Okay, the crew now gets a home crowd. Talk about upgrades at American Family Field. A great experience for fans to head there for a ball game.
Yeah, I think the Brewers do as good of a job as anybody can possibly do when it comes to the food options at the ballpark. That shouldn't be a surprise, right? Wisconsin knows how to do food. But, last year they had the 3rd Street Market Hall down the right field line in the loge level, and that was really popular. A lot of great options out there. My family's a big baseball family. They love to come to the ballpark, and that was kind of where they found themselves most days when they were trying to get ballpark food, was that 3rd Street Market Hall. So now you have the alley food truck area down the left field line of the loge level, and there are some great things that are going to be there. You're going to be able to get tacos. You got Hidden Kitchen MKE that's going to be there, and they're going to have gelato down there as well. So I think that's kind of cool. You get to go to the ballpark and get gelato if you want to now here in Milwaukee. So it's going to be a great addition. There are so many great options for food now in the ballpark. It's you can get your concession stand fare, of course, but beyond the traditional sense, you have so many different ways to come and really have a great night at the ballpark and have a great dining experience along with it.
Absolutely. Theme nights, giveaways, there's so much. But there's going to be a really big piece that's not going to be there today. The passing of legendary broadcaster Bob Uecker. You worked closely with him, Lane. What's it going to be like today? You already did spring training without him. You already did that first opening series. But what's it going to be like at home without him?
I don't know. That's the honest answer. We knew opening day would be tough. We knew spring training was going to be tough, but this was always the day that all of us, frankly, we've dreaded, which is a weird feeling because it's the home opener and this is always our favorite day of the year. But to have this day without him, I don't know what our emotions are going to be like. There's no way to simulate it. I think it's going to be very challenging, and he's on our mind all the time anyway, but it's going to be especially that way today. I know he wants us to pick up the pieces and move forward and do our jobs and do them well. I know that is what he wanted for us, and so we're going to do our best to be able to do that. But today's going to be a challenging day to get through. There's really no way around that, and He meant so much to me personally. He meant so much to everybody in our broadcast booth on a personal and professional level. He is the standard here. He always will be, and we'll never be able to achieve that standard. We'll just try to occupy his booth and his broadcast and do the best job we can moving forward.
And Lane, really quick, a lot of tributes will be happening today for Bob Uecker to honor him at the home opener.
Yes, a ton. And I think you're going to see his presence around the ballpark really all season long, and not just this year, but for years to come. But yes, there will be a lot of tributes, including, as the Brewers put out on social media last night, his signature in the outfield grass, which I think is wonderful. We had his signature behind home plate during spring training. It was nice to look out down onto the field and look at home plate and see his signature every day. And it'll be nice to be able to see that out in the outfield grass this year at home as well.
Absolutely. Home opener today for the Milwaukee Brewers. Lane Grindle, thank you so much for your time this morning, and go Brew Crew. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Emily.
Thanks. If you're headed to the home opener, we want to see it. Be sure to send us any pictures or videos you have rooting for the Brewers. You can use the chime-in feature on our website. You can also go to fox11online.com or upload it from the mobile app right there from the ballpark. Let's check in with Phil for a look at the forecast for tailgaters. You know, Phil, can only assume the roof that's going to be closed for today. Absolutely, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine. And, you know, I feel like there's very few home openers for the Brewers where it's not kind of on the chilly side of things. Now, there have certainly been worse years for anyone that wants to tailgate. That's not going to stop anyone today just because it's going to be in the mid-30s. I think tailgate temperatures will be coming up through the mid-30s at that point in time. Not too windy, though, and I think we'll start to see more and more sun coming out as the day progresses. High temperature also getting up to about 40 degrees, maybe up into the low 40s as you head down toward Milwaukee. And so at that first pitch, we'll see a lot of sunshine, temperature of about 40 degrees. But again, I think a little too chilly to leave that roof closed, or leave that roof open. I think it's going to be closed. But overall, no issues getting to or from the ballpark today.